What if the most powerful woman in fashion returned with even sharper claws, colder stares, and secrets that could shake the industry? Imagine Miranda Priestly walking back into the office, her heels echoing like a warning bell, her eyes cutting through silence, and the fashion world holding its breath. This isn't just a sequel, it's the return of a legend. The buzz is real, and the whispers have turned into a roar. The Devil Wears Prada 2 is no longer just a dream or a rumor. For years, fans begged, hoped, and speculated whether we would ever get to see Miranda Priestly and Andy Sachs on screen again. Now, with official updates surfacing, the fashion world and Hollywood have collided in a storm of excitement. This is not just another film announcement. This is the revival of a cultural moment, a story that shaped how we look at ambition, fashion, and the price of success. Back in 2006, when The Devil Wears Prada first hit theaters, it didn't just entertain, it became a phenomenon. Miranda Priestly, played by the unmatched Meryl Streep, became a symbol of power, control, and the hidden cruelty behind the glamorous world of high fashion. Andy Sachs, portrayed by Hathaway, was the wide-eyed outsider who gave us a window into that intimidating empire. And Emily Blunt, as the unforgettable Emily Charlton, proved that even a supporting role could become iconic. That film wasn't just about clothes, it was about survival, ambition, and the dangerous game of proving oneself in a world that chews people up and spits them out. Now, imagine all of that intensity coming back in 2025. But bigger, sharper, and updated for a new era. The whispers from insiders suggest that this sequel won't just repeat the same story. Instead, it will explore how the fashion world has changed: digital influencers, social media wars, and a new generation that challenges the old guard. Can Miranda Priestly still rule the runway in a world where TikTok stars hold more power than glossy magazines? Or will she adapt, reinvent, and prove that legends never fade? These are the questions that make the return of The Devil Wears Prada so thrilling. The first section of this story is all about anticipation. Production insiders have hinted that the film is moving beyond just being a follow-up, it's aiming to be a cultural event. Fashion houses are reportedly lining up to have their brands featured, knowing that even a few seconds of screen time could ignite trends worldwide. Big cities like New York, London, and Paris are rumored as possible filming locations, each one offering its own glamorous and ruthless backdrop. Imagine the Eiffel Tower glowing at night as Miranda prepares to destroy a rival with just a look, or the streets of Soho alive with paparazzi chasing Andy as she tries to keep her life together. The canvas is global, the stakes are higher, and the characters we love or fear are stepping back into the spotlight. But let's not forget what made the original film unforgettable: the human drama behind the glamour. This time, the intro builds on that foundation. It's not just about fashion, but about power shifts, personal choices, and the question of whether success is worth the price of your soul. For viewers, this sequel is more than a movie. It's the chance to revisit characters who became part of our lives, to see how they've changed, and to find out whether the devil we know has new tricks up her perfectly tailored sleeve. So, when you hear the title, The Devil Wears Prada 2, you're not just hearing about another film, you're stepping into a storm of ambition, betrayal, and style that will define the next chapter of cinematic fashion history. The devil is back and the world is not ready. The cameras are almost ready to roll. And the world of The Devil Wears Prada 2 is moving from whispered rumors to real production. Insiders close to the project say that the sequel is shaping up to be one of the most ambitious fashion dramas Hollywood has ever attempted. Unlike the original film, which centered almost entirely in New York, this new chapter expands the canvas. Reports suggest that filming will take place in multiple global fashion capitals. New York, Paris, Milan, and even London are all rumored to serve as backdrops. Each location isn't just a set, it's a battlefield. Think of Paris Fashion Week with the Eiffel Tower sparkling in the distance while Miranda Priestly cuts down rivals with nothing more than her signature stare. Picture the cobblestone streets of Milan buzzing with cameras, where Andy Sachs might be forced to prove her worth in a new, digital-first fashion landscape. But this isn't just a repeat of what we saw before. Production updates hint that the story has evolved to reflect the massive changes in the fashion world since 2006, back then, glossy magazines were the height of influence. Today, digital culture rules. TikTok trends rise and fall in hours. Influencers dominate runways without ever stepping into an office. And brands live or die by viral moments. The big question the sequel dares to ask is simple yet powerful. Can Miranda Priestly still reign in a world where her iron grip on print media no longer carries the same weight? The tension isn't just in the story, it's mirrored in the film's production. Directors, producers, and screenwriters are reportedly obsessed with capturing this clash between tradition and innovation. Insiders say the film will balance the old elegance of high couture with the raw, unpredictable energy of modern digital fashion wars. Filming schedules have already become part of the hype machine. Early reports suggest that shooting is being planned in high-profile public locations, a strategy that guarantees fans and paparazzi will flood the internet with leaks. Imagine the frenzy, photos of Meryl Streep in costume as Miranda, walking through the streets of Paris in a perfectly tailored coat. And Hathaway reprising Andy Sachs, now older, wiser, but possibly more conflicted than ever. Emily Blunt as Emily Charlton, perhaps finally stepping out of Miranda's shadow and into her own spotlight. Every on-set photo will go viral. Every glimpse will send fashion and film lovers into a spiral of excitement. The producers know this. That's why, according to industry chatter, they're deliberately staging some shoots in iconic landmarks to stir up conversation before the film even premieres. Another intriguing production update is the film's rumored approach to wardrobe. The original movie became iconic partly because of its fashion designers clamored to dress characters, and many looks went on to inspire real-life trends. For the sequel, costume designers are reportedly collaborating with both traditional fashion houses and bold new digital native designers. This mix promises to create visuals that are both nostalgic and cutting-edge. A Prada coat paired with a viral streetwear collab? Miranda Priestly would scoff at the risk and then wear it better than anyone else. The costume design team is said to be treating the film not only as a movie, but as a living runway show, where every scene is a fashion moment waiting to explode across Instagram and TikTok. Behind the camera, producers are working hard to balance the high expectations. The original director, David Frankel, may not return, but the team is reportedly bringing in filmmakers who understand both Hollywood storytelling and the cultural pulse of today. Cinematographers with a background in luxury branding are rumored to be in talks, ensuring that every frame looks like a fashion spread while still delivering emotional weight. This isn't just a film, it's intended to be an experience, one that will be dissected frame by frame, outfit by outfit, quote by quote dot, and then there's the timeline. Fans want to know, when is it happening? Sources suggest that pre-production has been moving quietly behind the scenes for months, with a tight schedule aimed at launching filming within the next year. That means casting confirmations, table reads, and costume fittings could be happening even as you watch this video. The secrecy surrounding the production only adds fuel to the fire. Each update feels like a rare gem, carefully dropped to keep audiences hungry for more. So, filming updates aren't just about logistics, they're part of the story itself. Every location, every costume, every leaked detail is designed to build anticipation. The Devil Wears Prada 2 isn't quietly slipping into production. It's strutting onto the global stage, daring the world to watch, judge, and obsess over every choice. The cameras are almost ready, the sets are being chosen, and soon enough, the devil will walk again. And when she does, the fashion world will never be the same. Asterisk, when it comes to The Devil Wears Prada 2, the biggest question fans keep asking is simple: who is coming back? The first film wasn't just a hit because of the story, it was unforgettable because of the cast. And now, after years of waiting, the sequel is shaping up to bring back the icons that made the original a cultural touchstone. Let's start with the heart of it all: Meryl Streep as Miranda Priestly. Few performances in film history have become so legendary. The icy delivery, the raised eyebrow, the subtle sigh that could send assistants trembling, it was more than acting, it was transformation. According to reports, Streep has been in discussions for months, and insiders hint that she is ready to step back into those heels. But here's the twist: this Miranda may not be the same one we remember. The fashion world has changed, and Miranda's kingdom is under threat. Will she adapt, evolve, and conquer again, or will she face challenges that even she cannot dismiss with a cold, "that's all"? Watching Meryl bring new depth to this character is already being described as the film's biggest selling point. Next, we have Hathaway as Andy Sachs. Andy was the audience's anchor in the first movie, the young, uncertain assistant who became a woman torn between her ambition and her values. But now, Andy is no longer the naive newcomer. She has grown, built her career, and become her own person. The big question hanging in the air: what role does she play in Miranda's world now? Is she a rival, an ally, or perhaps someone caught in the crossfire of the new digital fashion era? Insiders suggest that Andy's arc in the sequel could be far more complex, no longer the apprentice, but someone who must decide whether she will face Miranda as an equal or be drawn back into her orbit. Imagine the tension of their first on-screen reunion. No words, just a silence heavy with history, ambition, and unresolved emotions. And then, of course, there's Emily Blunt as Emily Charlton. In the original film, Emily was the sharp-tongued, fiercely ambitious assistant who dreamed of Paris but ended up sidelined. Yet her sarcasm, wit, and vulnerability made her unforgettable. Now, Emily's return is being hyped as one of the sequel's most exciting prospects. Rumor has it that she may no longer be Miranda's overlooked assistant. Instead, she could be leading her own fashion empire, or perhaps working as a rival editor in the digital space. The potential for clashes between Emily and Miranda, or even Andy, is immense. Will she still be Miranda's loyal soldier, or will she finally claim her own power? Fans are desperate to see Blunt bring back that mix of humor and bite, but this time with a new edge, not just surviving the fashion world, but commanding it. While these three names are the foundation, the sequel isn't stopping there. Whispers suggest new characters are being introduced to reflect the current fashion landscape. Think bold, young digital influencers who command millions of followers but lack the discipline of old-school fashion journalism. Imagine a ruthless tech mogul funding fashion startups, challenging Miranda's dominance from a completely different angle, or a rising designer who looks up to Miranda as a mentor only to discover that being noticed by the devil comes with a heavy price. These new faces will not just freshen up the story, but create conflicts that tie the old guard to the new generation. The fashion industry isn't just glamorous, it's brutal, and every new character could be a rival, a threat, or a pawn in Miranda's chessboard. Speculation also surrounds potential celebrity cameos. In the first film, fashion icons and real designers appeared subtly in the background. This time, the producers reportedly want to blur the line between fiction and reality. Imagine seeing a famous supermodel playing herself, clashing with Miranda at a runway show, or a real fashion designer making a dramatic cameo that sends fans into a frenzy. These cameos could make the film feel less like a movie and more like a behind-the-scenes peek into the real fashion elite. But what makes this cast return truly unique is the dynamic it promises. Miranda, Andy, and Emily, three women who once stood in completely different places, are now older, more powerful, and carrying the scars of their past. Will they unite against new enemies, or will the old rivalries burn brighter than ever? The tension isn't just professional. It's deeply personal. Andy walked away once, Emily was betrayed once, and Miranda has never forgiven weakness. Their reunion could ignite fireworks the fashion world has never seen. So, the cast return isn't just about bringing back familiar faces, it's about evolution. Each character carries the weight of who they were, but also the potential of who they've become. Fans aren't just waiting to see them again. They're waiting to see how time has changed them, hardened them, or perhaps softened them in ways we never imagined. And when these powerhouse actors share the screen again, the story won't just continue, it will explode into something bigger, darker, and more unforgettable than before. If there's one thing fans are desperate for, it's a glimpse into what The Devil Wears Prada 2 will actually show us. What kind of scenes will capture the drama, the ambition, and the razor-sharp edge that made the first film unforgettable? While the production is keeping most details under tight wraps, whispers from insiders, leaks from early drafts, and speculation from industry sources paint a picture of a sequel that is bold, daring, and far more global than before. These exclusive scene rumors give us a taste of just how high the stakes will be. Imagine this, a runway showdown in Paris, where Miranda Priestley arrives at Fashion Week in a blaze of cameras and flashbulbs. She is dressed in a coat so striking that even the photographers fall silent for a moment. Across the runway, a younger, ruthless influencer commands attention, live streaming her every move to millions of followers. The old guard and the new blood meet face to face, and the tension is so thick that you can almost hear the power shifting in the room. This rumored scene isn't just about fashion, it's about the survival of an empire. Will Miranda's icy elegance still rule when the currency of influence is likes, shares, and trends that vanish in a day? Another exclusive moment reportedly takes us to New York's financial district, where Sachs is no longer the uncertain assistant but a player in her own right. She's seen navigating sleek offices, making deals, and commanding respect. But when her professional world collides once again with Miranda's, we're promised a scene of epic silence. Picture it. Andy enters a boardroom only to find Miranda seated at the head of the table. No words at first, just recognition, history, and the weight of unfinished business. The kind of scene where one glance carries more drama than an entire monologue. Fans can already imagine that chilling pause, followed by Miranda's trademark line, spoken in a low, almost bored tone that cuts like a knife. "Surprised to see me?" Then there's the rumored Emily Charlton transformation. In one of the film's most talked about leaks, Emily is seen commanding her own fashion line during London Fashion Week. She's no longer the nervous, overlooked assistant, but a confident figure commanding models, designers, and press with the authority once reserved only for Miranda. Yet the scene doesn't stop there. Miranda herself attends Emily's show, sitting in the front row, silent and unreadable. The moment Emily walks onto the stage, applause fills the room. But the camera lingers on Miranda's face, offering no smile, no, not just the faintest flicker of emotion. Is it pride? Is it rivalry? The ambiguity leaves the audience breathless. Perhaps the most dramatic rumored sequence is set in Milan, inside a towering glass skyscraper where a high-stakes gala turns into a battlefield. Insiders suggest that this gala brings together the entire cast: Miranda, Andy, Emily, and the new wave of digital disruptors. The scene begins with glittering gowns, champagne, and elegant smiles. But beneath the glamour, daggers are drawn. Conversations are sharp, alliances form in whispers, and betrayals happen in the space of a single glance. One insider even teased a scene where Miranda delivers a public takedown of a rival in front of hundreds of guests, a monologue so scathing that it silences the entire room. It could very well become the film's new iconic quote, the kind of line people will be repeating for decades. What makes these exclusive scenes so thrilling is how they connect to the core themes of the story: power, ambition, and the cost of success. Each rumored sequence feels like a metaphor for the modern fashion world, where legacy collides with innovation and loyalty is always at risk. The film isn't just revisiting old characters, it's setting them on a collision course with the future, daring them to adapt or be left behind. As for the closing hype, producers are carefully crafting the marketing to match the intensity of the film. Expect teasers that reveal only a flash of Miranda's silhouette, a close-up of Andy's knowing smile, or Emily's voice echoing with determination. Every glimpse will be designed to send fans into a frenzy. The anticipation is the story. Every rumored detail fuels the fire, and by the time the first official trailer drops, the world will be ready to bow or fight for Miranda's return. So, as we close this chapter of updates, remember this: The Devil Wears Prada 2 isn't just about bringing back beloved characters. It's about redefining what power looks like in the modern age of fashion. The exclusive scenes we've heard about: runway clashes, boardroom silences, personal transformations, and glittering galas are just the beginning. When the lights dim and the opening credits roll, fans won't just be watching a sequel. They'll be stepping into a storm of style, ambition, and betrayal, where the devil still wears Prada but the world around her has changed. And that, perhaps, is the most exciting part. The devil may have returned, but this time she's playing an entirely new game.